Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today we will lose ourselves in Othello by William Shakespeare. Othello is a tragedy written by William Shakespeare and first performed in 1603. Set against the backdrop of Venice and Cyprus, it explores themes of jealousy, love, betrayal, and racism. The play revolves around the Moorish general Othello and his tragic downfall, orchestrated by his deceitful ensign, Iago. Othello is one of Shakespeare's most powerful and enduring works, highlighting the destructive nature of envy and manipulation. Plot summary. The night air of Venice was filled with tension as Rodrigo, a spurned suitor of the noble Desdemona, confronted Iago, a bitter ensign in the Venetian army. Iago's heart burned with resentment, for he had been passed over for promotion in favor of the young Michael Cassio, a man with little experience in the field. Iago masked his malice with false loyalty, revealing to Rodrigo that he hated Othello, the Moorish general, and would ruin him. Together, they roused Desdemona's father, Brabantio, with the shocking news that his daughter had eloped with Othello, a man he despised for his race. Brabantio, incensed, gathered his men and sought Othello, but the general stood confident in his love for Desdemona. Before any confrontation could escalate, news arrived from the Venetian Senate. A Turkish fleet threatened Cyprus, and Othello was summoned to defend the island. In the council chamber, Brabantio accused Othello of using witchcraft to win Desdemona's heart, but when summoned, Desdemona herself defended her love for Othello, speaking passionately of how she had fallen for his tales of bravery and hardship. The Duke, swayed by the sincerity of their love and the pressing threat of war, supported the union. Othello was ordered to lead the defense of Cyprus, with Desdemona by his side. Upon arriving in Cyprus, the mood was celebratory as news came that the Turkish fleet had been destroyed by a storm. Othello and Desdemona's reunion was filled with joy, and their love seemed unbreakable. But Iago, simmering with hatred, began his insidious plot. He manipulated Rodrigo, convincing him that Desdemona would soon tire of Othello and turn to Cassio. Iago's goal was simple: to destroy Othello by making him believe that Desdemona was unfaithful with Cassio. Iago's scheme began with a night of revelry. He encouraged Cassio to drink beyond his limit, knowing the lieutenant's weakness for alcohol. Cassio, intoxicated, got into a brawl with Montano, a respected Cypriot. Othello, awoken from his bed by the commotion, was forced to strip Cassio of his rank, a decision that pained him. Iago, pretending to comfort Cassio, advised him to seek Desdemona's help in regaining Othello's favor. This was the first step in Iago's web of deceit. Desdemona, kind-hearted and eager to help, readily agreed to speak on Cassio's behalf, unaware that Iago was using her generosity to plant seeds of doubt in Othello's mind. Iago, with subtle hints and half-truths, began to poison Othello against his beloved wife. His insinuations that Cassio and Desdemona were too familiar with each other gnawed at Othello, but it was the handkerchief, a gift Othello had given Desdemona, that became the final proof in his eyes. Iago, through his wife Emilia, managed to steal the handkerchief and plant it in Cassio's lodging, knowing Othello would view its absence as a sign of betrayal. The once noble Othello began to unravel, consumed by jealousy. His love for Desdemona, which had been pure and fierce, twisted into a dark obsession. He demanded proof of her infidelity, and Iago, always one step ahead, manipulated every circumstance to convince him that Desdemona had indeed given her love to Cassio. In a moment of blind rage, Othello resolved that both Desdemona and Cassio must die. Meanwhile, Cassio, unaware of the dangerous storm brewing around him, was targeted by Rodrigo under Iago's instructions. Rodrigo, still believing that Iago was helping him win Desdemona's love, attacked Cassio in the streets. However, the attempt failed, and Cassio wounded Rodrigo. Iago, seizing the opportunity, killed Rodrigo to cover his tracks and maintain his facade of loyalty. Inside the bedchamber, Desdemona sensed Othello's growing distance and desperation, but could not fathom the depths of his suspicion. She pleaded her innocence, but Othello, convinced by Iago's lies and the damning handkerchief, smothered her in a fit of jealousy. As Desdemona lay dying, she proclaimed her love for Othello with her final breath, forgiving him even as he killed her. Moments later, Emilia burst into the room, horrified to discover Desdemona's body. She bravely confronted Othello, and in doing so, revealed the truth about the handkerchief and Iago's treachery. Othello, realizing too late that he had been manipulated, was overcome with guilt and despair. Iago, when confronted, remained defiant, refusing to explain his motives or show any remorse. As Othello's world collapsed around him, he chose to end his own life, dying beside the wife he had wronged. In the end, Iago was arrested, his fate left in the hands of the Venetian authorities. The damage he had wrought was complete. Desdemona, innocent and pure, lay dead. Othello, once a revered general, had fallen from grace, destroyed by the very jealousy that Iago had stoked. The tragedy left behind a trail of ruined lives, with Emilia, Rodrigo, and even Cassio caught in its destructive path. Iago's malice had poisoned everything it touched, leaving nothing but desolation in its wake. That's it for now. If you enjoyed this, check out other books by William Shakespeare. You'll find them in the description or just search for them on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in William Shakespeare's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.